Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm showing you my altar setup here. This is the way it looks now. You've seen this before, but it's just a little different now, and I'm going to kind of take you through it just a little bit. Of course, you see the my pendulum and the stuff I wear every day over here. I got my bag of runes. This bag was made by Kaylee Burkana, whose live stream I was on last night. You see my candle, which is currently burning. We have Thor, Odin, Frigg, Freya, and Freyr. And then we have this nice little shrine with Mjolnir hanging in it, and of course a couple turkey feathers there. And I want to kind of show you this because we talked about discipline last night. And with discipline, this is something I do every morning. Every day when I wake up, make the offering of water, 2 small little glasses, because the will of Mimir was water, the will of Earth was water, and of course those 2 wills are where Odin sought wisdom. And then the candle burns to, of course, provide light. Now, there's plenty of light coming in, but the thing is, we have 2 elements, fire and water. The 2 elements that aided in creation. And if you read a book like Norse Myths and Tales, which I'll show you in just a moment, you'll see exactly why those 2 elements are important. And they are 2 polar opposite extremes, but when they come together, they create something very wonderful. Alright, let's go to the table. So now that we're back at the table, I can show you the book. It's this wonderful pile of dead trees here. Epic Tales, Norse Myths and Tales. This isn't really the prose Edda, but it has all of the tales. It has the legend. It has the legends of Thor. It has the sleeping warrior maiden. The saga of the Nibelungs, Atle, King of the Huns. It's all right here. In fact, I'll give you the most precise. You have the legends of Thor, Freya, and other gods. Gods are giants, elves, and dwarfs. Legends of Loki, legends of Odin and Frigg, and that includes Kvasir's blood, Bragi, the creation stories. Oh, what else do we have here? The Sigurd Saga, Frithjof the Bold, Gunnlaug the Worm-Tongue and Raven the Skald, the story of Grettir the Strong, the Laxdela Saga, and of course, the end of the world, Ragnarok. So many stories collected right here, but the creation story is what's most important. Because without these 2 extreme polar opposites happening, Muspelheim throwing its sparks, and Niflheim throwing ice which were melted by the sparks into Ginnungagap the Void, the mist would not have been formed, nor would we have been created. Also, when I throw heat and water together, I get my cup of tea every morning, and that's something I'm very thankful for. And let me tell you something, there are days like yesterday where I went without it and did not feel the same. Wasn't really functioning as I should have. And it just occurred to me that I had not done this, which is super important to me, because this is what brings us our little sacred space. You've seen it before, and now I thought I'd switch it up a little today. little more complex today. So, because it's such a wonderfully beautiful day outside, last time we met, it was dark and dreary. I had to turn on some lights in here. But not today. So let's start with the present. In the present, is your King of Cups. Kind of feel like your emotions are getting away with you, aren't you? We were talking about emotions last night. Well, I know Kaylee was. When these cups are reversed for me, they're very, very much empty cups. You can't, like, I can't turn that, I can't turn this over end and expect that the tea will stay there. It's going to run out. It's going to go everywhere. And right now, with you not holding or having your cups on stable ground, you're just kind of spilling out everywhere. This is actually kind of a product of holding everything in. So at present, not being able to control yourself a little emotionally can be quite the challenge. And it leads to even more challenge. Let's talk about challenge, for example. High Priestess in reverse, you're not doing your own thing. You're not trusting your intuition. You're just kind of a mess, really. And I have to wonder why. Why are you such a mess right now? Or why are we? Because I know I'm no exception. I am absolutely no exception to this. I've run into some kind of like issues here and there myself where I'm just like, ugh. And, we've had some cards want to kind of jump out here. So, remember what I said about it leading to other challenges? Well, let's have a look at our past, shall we? Now, it's important that we don't live in the past. But right now, our past is what freed you. This is where you got it right. A devil card in reverse. Because this was liberation time. This was time to get out from under. And oh my goodness. These phones have been going off all morning. It's like they just refuse to stop for any reason. But the thing is, when you freed yourself from one, you immediately began heading, you immediately began heading towards something else. Justice in reverse. Hey, look. I am all about fair and balance. I'm all about even application across the board, but that hasn't been us lately. And it's not because of our past, it's because of what we've done in the interim. Let me show you something. I'm going to give you an example. When you're a kid and mom and dad are telling you no candy, or not till after you finished your dinner, or not that close to bedtime, or not here, not there, or no, you really shouldn't have that much, or whatever. It really doesn't make sense to us, does it? And then when we're older, we're on our own, we're independent, some of us come to the realization, hey, I can have it at any time I want now. So you run out, you buy like 10 Snickers bars, you have about like 3 or 4 of them, you start feeling sick, right? We have a tendency to overindulge. We're overstimulated. And so we're not feeling it. Once again, Kaylee's astrology comes into play here. When you're not feeling it, it's because you've overstimulated yourself. And once you've overstimulated yourself, I can tell you right now, just like petting Bub a little too much, he'll just lash out. He'll start attacking. That's his way of saying, no more. Moderate yourself a little bit. And that's a warning that you're going to be in that state if you don't stop now and begin moderating yourself. So your goal or your aspiration, I can't really see any reason why your aspiration would be to have hold of those things that keeps you up at night. I really don't. But that's what you're worried about, is the goal that you have, those aspirations, those dreams, those desires, those things that you want to make a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, I came across something earlier when I was, going out with, when I was going out to do this book here, because I'm not very familiar with this particular spread and I wanted to do something a little different. But one of the things that came up was, I'm trying to see if I can see it here. I think it was right here. If you knew you were fully supported right here, right now, money's no object, nothing else really matters. You don't have to worry about your bills being paid, you don't have to worry about a roof over your head, food on the table, or clothing on your back, or shoes on your feet. If you had none of that to worry about, what would you do? Because those are your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. Right now, what I see as a person who does not have any and is worried, this looks like a midlife crisis to me. And some of you aren't even at midlife yet, which is what's strange. Now, what your subconscious is going to tell you, another reversal, but this time this is 5 of Wands in reverse. Not everything has to be a sparring match. It looks to me like you're also overthinking things. And as long as you're overthinking things, things are going to keep you up at night. Ladies and gentlemen, the Devil card in reverse from your past, you set yourself free, and it looks like you went and found yourself a stronger set of chains. I mean, right now we really need to talk. We need to talk. Because at this present moment, from your past, heading toward just, really kind of annihilating yourself here. It's like you're pining for one and fucking the other. And what's going on is, you remember the days of that security there. Oh, as much as you hated it, you know you had to love it. This is that Shawshank Redemption institutionalized moment, where Red says, these walls are funny. First you hate them. Then you're kind of indifferent to them, and after a while you grow to depend on them. That's institutionalized. As much as you may have hated that situation, as much as it really just did not appeal to you in the least, at least there was always X, Y, and Z, right? Some of us are pining for our childhoods even today. I remember those days. Man, in the words of Tom McDonald, shit was fucking cool. And this was before the internet, man. Every wallet had a chain. We'd go hook a few cigarettes, go smoke with the big kids and all that good stuff. But you always remember you could go back home. You could just sit there. Sometimes you could just talk with your parents if you had good ones. If you were that fortunate. You're not where you are because you're not heading there. And you're worried you're not going to get there before you're able to enjoy it. That's a fact of life that really everyone faces, including me. Am I where I want to be? No, but I'm working toward it. And when I start worrying, I have to remember that. Now let's go into the next one. So the advice card. And the advice card is going to be the best piece of this puzzle you can possibly hope to get, because more of this is going to be revealed now. The advice card is this Page of Swords, and I saw this one earlier today. I really want to read you the books. And by the way, the book I'm referring to is none other than Intuitive Tarot, which was a rather generous gift from Moots and has really helped me. I do refer to this quite a bit. There's always something in there for me to learn, and I love it. I absolutely love this book. And here we go with this Page of Swords. It says, and it asks you a question, but I'm going to read the whole thing here. It's not much. It says, exploring a new way of thinking, learning, or communicating, energy, passion, and enthusiasm around a new project. What new forms of expression are available to you? How can you express yourself in new ways? How can you apply your idealism in a way that's practical? Because that's where you begin to turn around all these reversals. Not all of them. This is the one you want. You want that to stay reversed. You want this to stay reversed. This does not have to be a battle. It can be something wonderful and illuminating. And that is where you need to focus. And that's the advice. Is find that new way to express yourself. So we're looking for the external influences. So what is it outside that's influencing you? And you've got a Three of Wands. A lot of fire here, a lot of Aries energy. And you're very much holding that space. And your external influence is that you actually see, you look out and you can see other people doing what you do. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm currently writing that adventure, Wretched is the New Black, for the Wretchedverse games by Miguel and Sylvia. The Red Room channel over on YouTube. Check them out. And I see them just cranking out book after book after book, week after week after week. I have absolutely zero idea how they do it. But I'm seeing that, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. And so every day I work, I do a little research, I try to figure out how I can approach this. What new thing can I look at that makes me even more excited? And the more I see come from them, the more excited about my own project I get. For some of us, we see that and we get frustrated, and we just drop it and walk away. Not me. I've already announced it. So you guys are holding me accountable, my RPG crew out there. Love y'all. And every time I make a new breakthrough or get some new notes, I release them. Behind the scenes, of course. So, what are your hopes or your fears at the moment? Missing out on new opportunities. Missing out on those new opportunities is a very, very big fear. Especially, I know, for me, but for you too. You're afraid that you're not going to be the unique next new thing. But that's okay. You can be a version of the new thing, but you can be a better version of it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have tons in those cabinets over there. I have a bunch of books that have like a basic expert D&D rule set. And I love them all for different reasons. That particular rule set is so simple, it's so light on rules that it's been done and done and done. However, it's been done in unique ways. That's what the Page of Swords is all about. So stop watching, everybody. Stop worrying about that. And we're going to close out with this last card, which is going to be your outcome. And this is, I'm going to say this right now, the Emperor is a hard ass. He's authority, very much Aries energy here. However, the one thing that you have to understand is that he worries constantly. If you look at his eyes, if you look right there at his eyes, he is always looking over his shoulder. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, but yours is in reverse. You do not have to worry about that kind of thing. So, this isn't like a midlife crisis for you. You don't have to treat it that way. The way you have to treat it is just to look at things from a new and fresh perspective. Get those. Stop worrying about what others are doing, okay? Because pretty soon, this guy is actually going to be you, looking out at your ships at sea, sending out the things you've sent out there. Now, the question is, what do you want to send out there? You don't have to be the fresh new thing. You just have to present it in a new way. Something that's interesting. The success of Old School Essentials, which is a tabletop role-playing game, and Basic Fantasy. They are two different things, but the reason people love each one are for different reasons. Some love Old School Essentials because the layout is much better. It's more beautifully presented. Some people like Basic Fantasy because even though it may not be as well laid out, it may not be as well organized, it's certainly a lot lighter on the pocketbook. And both accomplish the same thing. You could swap out rule sets and no one would ever be the wiser. Until you introduce Descending Armor Class. Which you don't have to. Alright, that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am thankful. And let's try that. Let's start, instead of worrying about what we don't have or what we haven't done yet, let's be thankful for what we do have and what we have done. Be sure to thank yourself a little bit. Give yourself a little credit. You're going to be just fine. Some days these readings can be brutal, but these readings are our friends. And our friends let us know when we're fucking up. Alright? I love you all. And by the way, this is for the next, today, tomorrow, and Thursday. I will probably be back on Friday. I am off Saturday, but I do not have anything scheduled for that day. Not even a live stream. I've got a lot to do, so I won't be. I'm going to just kind of take a day off. I hope you don't mind. It's been a little rough. Just remember, I love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up. And as always, shine on.